Hello friends, welcome to your channel Hari Geomatics. Today we will start unit 2 in Prakash batch, and this is the important unit. As we know, the GIS uh, has two types of data structure. First one is raster and second one is vector data. So these data are very important to understand, and what are the meaning of these data, and what data that is useful for the GIS software. So we will understand about these data and about data models, and everything the real world that is shown in the GIS software are in two different types, that are raster or vector. So this unit is important to understand the raster data and vector data, which will be useful for upcoming unit, and to understand the GIS software. So in this unit we will study about GIS data models and spatial data structure. So first of all, we will read about the data sources. Means this data, the real world that can be represented in different types of data, like satellite image and coordinates image, like from GPS, DGPS, and surveying data, other things that are converted to useful data format that are acceptable by the GIS. So first of all, we will read about the data sources. From means what are the sources to collect the data for the GIS, and in which we will read about GIS data sets and data acquisition. Second one is the most important part of unit 2, that is GIS data models, in which we will read about the raster data model and vector data model. After that, we will compare about those two data models, and we will also see about the advantage and disadvantages, because everything has advantages and disadvantages also. So we will read about the raster and vector data models, advantages and disadvantages. After that, point 3 will cover about the spatial data structure. As I already told you that the data structure is only of two types: vector data structure and raster data structure, and data models are also raster and vector. So everywhere in GIS you will read about the raster data and vector data. So we will clearly, and explanation of these data models will be given in unit 2. And after that, as we know that large amount of data can be stored in the database, so there is a database management system which is important, because GATE exam has questions about DBMS. So we will understand about the DBMS, which is also important. So let me start. As we have already read about the GIS component, there are 5 components of GIS. First one is software, hardware, data, methods, and people. And these GIS components are covered in the unit 1. So you can refer to my previous lectures of GIS series. Now, what are the functions of GIS? As we have already known that it captures the data, then store, and we can query on that data, we can analyze, and it also display, because it has monitor and other output units. So it can display the data and output. And what are the components of output? We have already, like printer, and for digitizing storage like magnetic tape. So these are the outputs, and these are the functions of GIS, that what can be do with the data. As this is the real world, and you have to understand, GIS capture or store the data in the layer forms. Means this reality or real world has the states, buildings, customers, and many things. So GIS store the data in layer form. So it is important to understand you that street as one layer, means all the states are displayed in one layer, all buildings, customers. So these layers are compiled and analyzed to for the output. So this is the important word to layer wise it store the data. So for query or analysis has been easy to use this GIS software. After that, what are the functions of GIS? As maps are digitized and stored or capture the data in GIS, for that we have to scan or manual digitizing, means this is the non-digital form. Map is the non-digital form, so we have to convert in digital format to store in GIS software. For that we use manual digitizing or scanning. After that, Intel database to store the data, direct entry like many coordinates or other digital data we can also store by the mouse or keyboard. After that, RSI satellite images that are also manual digitizing and scanning to store capture the data in GIS software. And that is the another data format GPS, which provide 3D coordinates, and that data is directly transferred to the software, that can be directly transferred to the software. As we already study in the unit 1 that GIS software uh, accept the data in digital format. So whatever is the non-digital format we have to convert it in digital format. For that we have already known we can use manual digitizing or scanning. After that, there are two types of data models or data that can be stored in the GIS or acceptable by the GIS. First one is the raster and second one is the vector. What are the difference between these two data structure? As this is the real one, this is like water body, forest and grassland. So vector data means any object on the real world are represented by point, line or polygon. So like this is the river, so this is represented by the line, and this is water body is represented by polygon, and forest area is represented by polygon. So if there will be an object like pole, that will be represented by the point. So vector store the data in the form of point, line or polygon. And another data structure is raster. It represents the real world data in the form of pixels. And we will read about in the deep about the raster data, in which we will study the pixels value it contains. So first of all we have to understand that raster data is represent the real world data in the format of pixels, array of pixels. Like this is the water body and this is also the water body. So one pixel carry the that line, and polygon contains many pixels, and forest cover the many pixels, grassland cover the many pixels, and means it also uh, form the polygon but in the form of array of pixels. So we have to understand these two type of data, and we will discuss in deep further after covering the basics. So as we have already know, GIS softwares are the component of GIS. So what are the softwares? As we have known some softwares, like there are ArcGIS. You have already used ArcMap 10 and ArcGIS, other QGIS. So GIS softwares are many. Like it can be differentiated in desktop GIS, in which it contains ArcEditor, ArcView, ArcReader, ArcGIS extensions. So these are again classified. And other one is server GIS, which includes ArcGIS, Image Server, ArcIMS. Mobile GIS is also there, ArcGIS Mobile, ArcGIS Desktop. So developers GIS, Geodatabase. So software that are used in GIS mostly software that are used are ArcInfo, ArcView, IDRESI, MapInfo, Grass. So these are the names of the software. And QGIS, ArcGIS, ArcMap 10.1, 10.2. So there are many softwares of GIS, but this is the most important to understand what are the data sources that can be that we can collect the data for the use or for the GIS software that can be analyzed for the output. So there are six types of data sets. First one is satellite image. We can use satellite imagery in the GIS software. Existing maps that can be converted in digital format. Third one is aerial photographs or digital ortho photographs. Fourth one, attribute data that can be directly entered by keyboard. Survey data and records like total stations and other things. And other sources means internet and many sources that can provide the data for the use of the GIS software. So first one is the satellite image. As we know, what are the satellite images? As our earth is covered by the satellites at every point, so remote sensing data means that earth observation satellites cover the earth and collect the data at particular time. So that data can be used in GIS for the output or analysis. So satellite imagery data can be used in the GIS software. So remote sensing data in the form of satellite imagery is an important element of the organization of any GIS database as it makes possible repetitive coverage of large areas. Because we know as the altitude of the satellite increases, the coverage of the ground increases. So on like terrestrial platforms and aerial platforms, satellite imagery or satellites cover the ground more than other platforms. Satellite imagery can be used as a raster backdrop on vector GIS data. Means mostly satellite imagery gives the raster data, and you have to know that scanning of any non-digital format of data provide to convert in the digital format. Scanning gives the raster data, and digitizing gives the vector data. We will read in upcoming unit, but this is the knowledge that satellite imagery scan the earth and it provide the raster data. The satellite images data can be used for many applications like environmental impact analysis, site evaluation for large facilities, highway planning, development, monitoring of environmental baselines, agriculture, forestry. Means it can be applied for many things that are useful for the development and monitoring the growth of the crops, agriculture, and other things. So we can use this data in GIS software for the planning and decision making. So satellite images are also used for urban planning and management. And in addition to image analysis, satellite images are used to generate thematic information resulting into thematic maps. So satellite data can be used for the thematic map. Means thematic map means for a particular purpose. This data, satellite images, can be used for the particular purpose. Means for a theme which provide the thematic maps. Means for growth, urban development, or urban planning, we can particularly use that satellite data which result in the thematic maps. Second one of data sources is we can get data from the existing maps, but this would be converted into digital format by the manual digitizing or scanning. So paper maps are the most important source of data for GIS because there are many maps that are available for the use. So maps of various scale, size, formats and time periods showing different features are available for large portion of earth, and these are major sources of data for the GIS of data because uh, every part of the earth is covered in the maps and that are available at different scale, sizes, formats, so that can be easily available data which are useful for the GIS database. So this is the large portion of earth that are covered by the map, so we can use them easily and they are available easily. The information available on a paper map is converted into digital format, so you have to understand it that no existing maps are in non-digital format. So to convert the data in the format of GIS data source, we have to convert it in digital format by the processing of digitizing or scanning for the use in GIS. The advanced countries like USA also have the digital maps which can directly be used in GIS without going into the process of digitization. Means USA, America has already converted the maps in digital format, or they have already digital maps, so that can be directly entered into the GIS software. Third one are aerial photographs and digital ortho photographs. These are simple that photographs of the ground taken from the aeroplanes or other things, means aerial photography. That photographs can be used in the GIS application. Aerial photographs rectified for relief displacement or radial distortions are known as orthophotos. Means there are many errors or distortions taken place in the aerial photograph. If they are rectified, means the photograph that does not contain any relief displacement, that are known as the orthophotos, and that provide the accuracy. So orthophotos used in the GIS application for the accuracy. So orthophotos is a geometrically equivalent to the conventional line map and represent planimetric features on the ground in their true orthographic position. Means true orthographic position as their location is same as in the map. So orthophotos are rectified by the relief displacement. Due to this, orthophotos possess the advantage of line maps, such as ability to make measurements of distance, angle and areas. So line maps are included in the orthophotos, which provide us the measurement of angle, distance and areas that can be measured accurately and easily. However, orthophoto, unlike line maps, also contain the image of an infinite number of ground objects, and therefore most of the time they need conversion into theme map. As orthophotos, we have read about the line maps, that is a theme map, means we have focused on a particular object. If these orthophotos are unlike line maps, then it will cover many number of ground objects, and for that we have to focus on a particular object, then we need to convert into the theme maps. At present, with the given computer power, its storage capacity and speed, it has become possible to have digital orthophotos commercially. Means we can also have digital orthophotos commercially. So these can be stored and directly used in the GIS application. Because nowadays we have computer power and storage capacity, so we convert that orthophoto in digital format, and so that can be directly used in the GIS application. The digital orthophoto provide all information of a photograph, but at the same time allow the registration of vector maps used in the GIS. Now fourth one is the attribute data. We know attribute data, as you already know, that GIS store the attribute data in the mainly tabular form. Means attribute data for GIS can be stored in the tabular format with the directly by the keyboard and other things. So GIS use the attribute data in the tabular format. So we have to understand these things. Tabular format. The tabular data, which are tables, consist of rows represent samples and columns represent parameter values, can be incorporated in GIS as relational tables. So one thing you have to understand here, that attribute data is stored in the tabular format in GIS. Means one thing is sample and other thing is the parameter value. Means for example, temperature varies with the distance or speed. So at a particular area, like named as 1, it has 10 degrees Celsius, and other area, so this 15 degrees Celsius. So this data is the attribute data, not temperature, like pressure variation and rainfall data. That data is the attribute data. And if we talk about the location or position, that is the spatial data, and attribute data comes under the non-spatial data, and data are stored in the GIS in the tabular format. So you have to understand it and keep in mind. Now fifth one is the survey data and records. As we have done survey, like using instruments like total stations, so that data can be directly used in the GIS software for the analysis and for the output. Some survey data and records about rock types, soil types, elevation, population, and other features are collected by the related national agencies of a country and maintained in the form of maps and tables. Means survey data is the other thing, and records means there are many national agencies and NGOs also that collect the data, like population data and other survey. By surveying we can record elevation data, soil types, and these data are stored in the form of maps and tables. So these maps can be converted into digital format and can be used in the GIS, and tables can directly be inputted into the GIS software. So these survey data and records can be another form of data source that can be useful or acceptable by the GIS software for the analysis. Now last one is the other sources, which include the field surveying using grid labeling, status tachymetry, other field surveying methods like total station. I have already told you, GPS, total station. So these GPS and total station data, collected data, can be used in the GIS software, and this data can be stored in tabular format. So it can be stored like attribute data. So these methods have been replaced by new generation surveying instruments, electronic tachymeter, total station, GPS, for collecting locational as well as attribute data. Means these data can collect both data, spatial and non-spatial, spatial and non-spatial data, so that both data can be used in GIS software. Another source of GIS data could be internet. I have already told you that internet can be another data sources for the GIS software. Almost all analog or digital data available for use in GIS may have limitations and pose problems while organizing the GIS data. So these data collected data have limitations also. So it can have problems while organizing in GIS database, because there can be a large amount of data which can be stored in the form of database. So it will problem by due to limitations, but it can be managed by JS software. Now these were the sources of data sources for the JS software. So we have covered first topic, data sources. Now we will understand about the JS datasets and data acquisition in next lecture. So please like, share and subscribe my channel, and you can join us on Telegram also, whose link is available in the video description. Thank you.